Hey BeatFox15, you have a plan for MLP movie?
All this power wasted on parties.
Happy birthday, bro. Also, when are you planning on doing the MLP movie? We've been waiting.
When there are far greater uses.
BeatFox15, I can tell some people wanted you to do the MLP movie, especially me. Don't worry, I got plans. Well then do your job, my friend.
Remember, Tempest, only I have the power to make you whole. Make this twig work, and you'll get your reward. Fail me, and your horn will be the only thing that's broken.
It won't be a problem.
What do you like more, MLP FIM or MLP MYM, Pony Life, or MLP TYT, MLP the movie 2017, or MLP a New Generation movie?
Now, where are they going?
Or maybe you can do the MLP 2017 movie if that's your call. Trust, that's gonna get rough. Someday, lol.
Hello guys, welcome to my stream. I am currently flying over the
Not about G5, but I really like to hear your thoughts on the MLP movie, the one with Tempest. It's one of my favorite movies, although I think the Storm King was a completely wasted character.
Restore my horn, and I swear to use my magic to serve you.
Who cares about your dinky little unicorn horn?
I definitely don't give two shots about G5. Besides, when are you gonna realize to MLP movie you said about it, we're begging you, man?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Nigga, what? Nigga, what?
Looks pretty good. I heard you're doing the MLP movie. Please tell me when that comes out. Alright. You win. I'll talk about the movie now. Like my shirt? I think it's pretty cool, if you ask me. I don't know. Enjoy the video or something. Roll the intro.
BeatFox15 feet.
Welcome to my channel.
I'm gonna be all up in those feet.
I said, better late than never, better late than never. Guess who's back? Let's talk about this My Little Pony movie, y'all. My Little Pony, the movie, 2017, is a movie that came out and is based on the highly critically acclaimed My Little Pony Friendship is Magic TV series, aka My Little Pony Generation 4, or G4 for short. And boy, do I have some thoughts on it. You know, before we begin, I want to address the elephant in the room. This video is kind of important because I'm finally technically talking about Friendship is Magic on this channel for the first time. No punches, no gimmicks, for real this time. Why did you think I made that Pony Life video? Which, by the way, I think you should watch after this video because, in my humble opinion, it's pretty entertaining if you ask me. Or if you want to get more into G4 content as well. It's a good watch, if you want to, of course, or if you haven't already. But I made the Pony Life video to test the waters a little bit bit to ease you in, but teasing no more. Anything My Little Pony from this point forward is fair game on this channel. So if there's anything My Little Pony thing that you can think of, let me know in the comments down below. The more likes your comment gets, the more likely I am to look at it and possibly review it on this channel. But I also want to point out another reason why this is important is because, you see, way back when I made my first video ever, which by the way, please don't watch that first video. Please don't. Please do not watch. I put this image on screen. Now, looking back at it, I never thought today was the day that I would be talking about this movie. And to that I say, here we are, I guess. This was the movie that everybody's been waiting for. And yes, I'm talking about the people who wanted this movie instead of the first Equestria Girls film, but also the people in my audience who have been asking me my thoughts for God knows how long on this film, but that's neither here or there. But enough yapping, because I don't know how long this video will be. Is this movie good is the question, or is it terrible, or is it a little bit in between, like when Tempest Shadow sticks her giant horse dong right in between my huge booty. The film kicks off in a grandiose way with generic pop music that's a remix of something I don't care, showing all the ponies at Canterlot about to get ready for a festival, and we see my boy Spike. Let's go. Woo! He's 10 times better than that other woke baby dragon in that other show. I want my baby dragons in my children's media to at least fucking form a coherent sentence. About to meet up with Twilight Sparkle, the Princess of Friendship herself, and is in charge of making sure that the Friendship Festival today goes as smoothly as possible. But Twilight's a little bit of an overthinker and is pretty nervous about today.
I'm just so nervous about this meeting. What you talking about?
She's also pretty nervous about this favor she's about to ask the other three princesses. We got Edgy Butt, Cake Butt, Love Butt. I kid. It's Princess Luna, Celestia, and Cadence. The princesses of the moon, the sun, crystals. I feel like one of these is not like the other. Twilight basically asked the other three princesses that while insert celebrity guest cameo is performing, they can use their magic like raise the sun and moon and crystals and stuff. And they're like, nah, we're not doing that. We then cut to Twilight's butt buddy pals, the main six. We have Rainbow Dash, the asshole of the lovable variety, Pinkie Pie, the funny quirky one. Also, fuck you for putting that reference in the movie. And then we got Applejack, the country hardworking one. And then Rarity, the fabulous one who loves fashion and style. This bitch is serving cunt on the menu tonight, sister. What the fuck is wrong with me?
4 seconds flat. Faster if I do my Sonic Rainbow.
Shut the fuck up, Rainbow Dash! Twilight then joins her friends to see how's the festival going. Spoiler alert, it's going nowhere. Twilight gets nervous some more and tells her friends, oh my god, what if I can't make this the best festival of all time? Even though we already have like 80 bajillion of those every single week. So to cheer her up, they sing her a song. It's pretty okay, a little catchy, showing a bunch of fan references that the bronies will get. And is that Trixie? Trixie Tuesday! It's Trixie Tuesday! Also, you can't escape me. I see you, foul demon. Begone, witch! Begone, you heretic! And after the song number, Twilight meets Sia! Remember Sia? Look, all I remember is that around the time when this movie came out, she like posted her ass or something, or I don't know. The point is that she's, what is her name?
Songbird Serenade?
Yeah, that. But just as she's about to do her sound check on stage, conflict of the movie happens. A really bad looking PS2 evil ship arrives at Canterlot. This is where we meet one of the movie's, let's just face it, the sidekick of the main antagonist of the movie, Grubber. He then says that they're here from the Storm King and they're about to take over. And then we meet the real villain of the movie, Tempest Shadow. And then Tempest is all like, hey princesses, give me your magic or else. And obviously they're like, no. So then Tempest just starts kicking ass and taking them out one by one. Twilight and her friends then run away because what else are they gonna do? And oversee Tempest and Grubber as well as the Storm King's grunts take over Canterlot. But when all hope is lost, Twilight then remembers what Celestia said to Princess Luna before they all got frozen. She told Luna to head south to meet the Queen of Hippo before she got frozen. So Twilight and the gang with no other option then decide to go to the Queen of Hippo in hopes of saving Equestria. We then cut back to Canterlot where Tempest is capturing all the ponies for the Storm King. everything. It makes a point about how all this magic is being used to just have parties when they could be using it on literally anything else. And there's a reason for that. We'll get back to it later. The Storm King then calls Tempest on his spell thing and just checks up on her and see how things are going. She just basically explains that she's gonna go through with this evil plan with taking over Equestria, the world, you know, typical villain stuff, and also that and take all the princess's magic into the Staff of Sicanus. It's almost like it's the Staff of Saneness. It's like one of them is useful and the other one is the Staff of Sameness. He also mentions that he reminds Tempest that he's the only one who can restore her horn back to normal. Also, Grubber shows up. I don't know if I like this character. So far, he's just been, I'm fat. That's it. We then cut to the gang and MLP G5's content drought. I'm sorry, he'll chill. But Pinkie Pie's definitely me in this scenario. Stay strong, sis. Stay strong. I'd also like to point out by now that, if I haven't already, that this movie looks amazing. I don't know why it took me up until like the desert scene to say this, but God, this movie looks amazing. And the facial animations and everything, it's good. So after the girls' long trek in the Sahara Desert, the girls finally find a shady as fuck town to maybe get some information on where the Queen of Hippo is. And like, I'm talking like really shady town. Like Baltimore levels of shady. Then we see, oh, there's the furry bait. There he is. I knew this movie had this character. This cat man eyeing up the ponies. Pause. After Pink Horse decided to announce to the world that they're looking for the Queen of Hippos. Yeah, trying to blend in with this one around is like trying to blend in to a coffee shop while also being with a pink color coded crackhead at your side. The mysterious cat man takes this opportunity and saves the girls from being interrogated by the rest of the town and introduces himself. His name is Capper. Oh, I see what they did there. And Twilight's a little bit apprehensive to this guy and is like, you know, maybe we shouldn't just trust the random cat man we just met 2 seconds ago in this slimy as fuck town. But to convince them, Capper sings a song. I don't know if it's better than the last song, but it's pretty catchy in its own right. But after that, he takes them to his humble abode. I mean, it's a home, but don't worry about that because the Storm King's forces and Tempest is here. And Tempest does what she does best, kick ass and take names later. God, this character's so cool. Meanwhile, cutting back to the girls at Capper's house, Twilight then finds out that they're not looking for the Queen of Hippos, they're actually looking for the Queen of the Hippogriffs, who are part pony, but also part eagle. Twilight's then like, alright, let's blow this popsicle stand. But then right before they're about to leave, it's revealed that Capper was gonna sell them all along because he has a debt with some mole man. But then just about as that's about to happen, Tempest shows up and then the girls then book it. Wacky hijinks ensues. They end up just getting on a sky boat and are presumably headed off to Mount Eris to see if they can find the hippogriffs. Oh yeah, Capper's with Tempest because she doesn't trust him. The ponies are now hiding in the airship when all of a sudden they get caught by a couple of the crewmates and then are about to get sent overboard. But then the captain just says, psych, nah, it's lunch, and tells them while they're eating that, you know, we weren't always like this. The Storm King made us like this. And begins to tell them that they used to be pirates. Rainbow Dash then proceeds to tell them that, nah, that's whack, dog. Y'all's was pirates. Y'all can take orders from that monkey man, and then proceeds to sing about it. You know, so far, this movie's soundtrack has been pretty solid, I will say. Usually I'm like, I don't like music, music sucks, YouTube copyright, but like, even though I can't show you the songs, I can at least recommend you on whether or not you should listen to it. And so far, I think this is a pretty solid movie soundtrack. Now, is it better than Rainbow Rock? No. But it's pretty alright. But then during the song, Rainbow Dash can't contain herself and then causes a sonic rain boom in 4K HDR 1080 20 FPS style, which then alerts Tempest Shadow, and now she's on their asses. Pause. Tempest then boards the ship being like, yo, where they at, dog? I ain't got time for this shit, dog. And then the captain, wait, hold up, character break. Doesn't this character, did she ever say her name at one? Hold on, what is the captain's name of this fucking ship? Hey, yo, who the fuck is...
Zoe Saldaña.
Oh, she's Gamora. Oh, okay. Anyways, her name is Captain Celiano. Ain't going back down, cause she no bitch nigga. And then as the girls are hiding, Twilight then comes up with a plan and escapes the ship with her friends, falling to their death. Now, luckily for Twilight's friends, she's not stupid and decides to make the doohickey, and the gang then head off to Mount Eris. Meanwhile, cut back to Tempest, and guys, I don't think Tempest is really happy about this, especially after catching not only Capper, but Captain Celiano in a lie. Geez, the cat named Capper and the pirate lied to you? Who would have guessed? So the girls finally make it to Mount Eris, and it turns out it's spooky as shit, and the hippogriffs seem to be gone. But when all hope is lost, the girls hear something in the distance, but as soon as they try to find out who it is, they then disappear. Pinky, seeing this, tries to follow after her, but it's to no avail. Until they get sucked up by the water. Them on the brink of death then get saved moments after by this sea pony creature. She then takes them to where she lives and to also see her mother. And then Twilight then asks the mom, hey, do you have any like information on like the hippogriffs? I need to see the queen. It turns out this is actually the queen of the hippogriffs. The daughter then explains that the hippogriffs were actually on the surface of Mount Eris, but then, he came. So Queen Novo, the leader of the hippogriffs, then decided to use all their magic to hide all the rest of the hippogriffs underwater, where they hide in refuge from the Storm King. Then the daughter's like, can we please show them the magic as well? And the mom's like, fine, whatever, just leave me alone. The mom uses the pearl and turns them all into sea ponies so that way they can, breathe. And Twilight's like, no way, we could use that to defeat the Storm King. And the queen's like, fuck no, baby. And then leaves. And then, what's her name?
Princess Skystar.
Princess Skystar. What? Anyways, tells them that they can live down here forever. And the girls are like, we need to save the world. That's kind of our thing. And then she gets like depressed and sad. But then Pinky's like to Twilight, oh, come on. We can't make her sad, right? Even though we met this girl like 10 minutes ago. Then Twilight's like, well, no, actually, we can stay a little bit longer. Twilight's about to do something she's about to regret, isn't she? And then to cheer up Princess
Skystar.
she sings him a little tune and tells her that one small thing can be the biggest thing of all. Oh yeah, a commenter told me to put this joke in, since I liked it, into the video because I didn't talk about Tell Your Tale instead of this movie. Lol, I don't know. I like the song. It's upbeat, it's cheerful, it shows off Pinky's personality to Twilight's advantage because you know the purpose of this song. It's a nice little song. And then right after that beautiful moment, the queen's like, you know what? Maybe these ponies are, never mind. Fuck you. The queen, rightfully so, calls out Twilight on her bullshit. I knew this was gonna happen, but like, I can't believe it was this egregious. Holy shit. Twilight looking guilty as hell all up in them pasta noodles. Like, what did you think was going to happen? Did you not think that the queen would not have her magic stored in some form of security system in place? I feel like the movie at this point was like, I'm having a good time. It's nothing like mind-blowing, but it's a pretty enjoyable watch so far. Nothing too crazy. But then the movie's like, oh shit, we gotta have like another conflict that's not the main plot of the movie. We're an hour in, have Twilight do something stupid. Like, what? So then the queen is like, we shouldn't have trusted them, and then kicks them out, rightfully so, and Twilight just blew it. And now I gotta talk about this part of the movie, and it was doing pretty okay so far, for what it was, but now I gotta address one of the issues that I have with this movie. So then Applejack is like, why would you do that, you idiot? And then Twilight says,
It was the only way to save Equestria.
which, okay, I'm gonna address this in two different scenarios, or talk to the people who will watch this movie once / the casual audience who knows barely anything about MLP, and then I'm gonna address this to the people who have watched MLP and who are like bronies, essentially. I'm gonna start off with the casual people first. Is this trope stupid? Yes. Is it doing its job? Yes. It's filling its obligation. That doesn't mean it's still good. That's not gonna stop me from calling it dumb still. I understand where Twilight's coming from, but to just act stupid and to think, oh, I'm gonna just take this pearl without thinking for 5 seconds that, maybe there may be some sort of like cage or thing she keeps it in, so that way people just don't, take the pearl. Twilight acting randomly stupid for whatever reason just feels random, but it's needed to add extra tension to the plot and make the plot necessary and move forward in a dumb way, but to move it forward regardless. Now it's time to address the people who have watched My Little Pony before, or the fans, bronies. Okay, so Twilight says,
It was the only way to save Equestria.
but then Pinky rebuttals with,
Queen was going to say yes. We did what you told us, and that's what made her realize we were ponies worth saving.
so one, not only is this forced conflict, but two, Twilight then says that,
I never would have done it, but this isn't Equestria. You can't just dance around with con artists, make rainbows in the sky, and expect everything to work out. It's not enough. We are not enough.
Which, fair, they did point out in this movie, this is not Equestria. But you were gonna take another homeland's magic to save yours. What a fucking asshole. And to say that there were no other options left on the table, you showed him at the beginning of the movie. I wonder why Discord isn't in this movie. And I got to thinking, I know in one of my previous videos, I did say that, like, you know, Discord is the strongest character in this show, or this universe. This scene not only solidified that in my head, but showed me why the writers were so scared of having Discord in almost any finale moving forward. Now I want to clarify, this isn't the only reason why this scene is bad. It's just out of pocket or out of character for Twilight to begin with. I'm just saying Discord not being in this movie, it's just funny to me. You know, Discord's kind of like a win all button if you think about it. And this is like spoiler talk for later seasons of Fem. So if you haven't caught up with Fem yet, or just want to skip this part of the video, just skip to this timestamp on the screen. Or whatever. I'll try to make it relatively quick and then we can move on. Discord is always seen as a powerful character, but in later seasons, they really are just like, no, he is one of the strongest characters. And like, it's just really funny that like, he's just not around when certain things happen, or Discord has to be conveniently handicapped or captured to make the plot work. Because without it, Discord can just save the day every single time. For an example, oh no, the Storm King's about to take over Canterlot. Fluttershy, just call Discord.
Hey, Discord. I was wondering, can you, like, save Equestria real quick?
Nah, I don't really feel like it.
Okay, well, can you at least save us?
Nah, but I can save you, though.
Look, babe, that's not the point.
Well, I'm not the one who's always in danger now, am I? With their silly little friends going on silly little adventures.
Look, if you save me, I promise I'll marry you.
Yes, my Pookie Bear. Movie over. You see what I mean? There was like a scene, and I think it was like the season 9 premiere, and like Discord's explaining to Twilight that like he resurrected Somber back from the dead or something along those lines, and like King Somber's like really powerful, like he almost won again, but he's not Fluttershy's boyfriend, that's for sure, if that makes any sense. I mean, just look at this footage. It's nothing to him, and I guarantee you he could have mopped the floor with the other 3 goobers that he was corralling behind Twilight's back as well. Again, this isn't the only reason why this scene is bad, but it's just one of my personal gripes or issues I have with not only this movie, but FIM as a whole. But you guys let me know if Discord not being in this movie is completely unrelated or I'm just wrong. But you guys let me know if MLP has a, how do I put it, Discord writing problem? But I don't know. But TLDR, it's just funny to me how Twilight says that there's no one else to help them, and all of a sudden Discord is nowhere to be mentioned or seen in this movie whatsoever. So then after like Pinky and Twilight have that argument, and like Pinky's like, you don't trust your friends, and then Twilight's like, maybe if I didn't have friends like you, this wouldn't have happened. And then they all get shocked. Sad trope, third act trope, whatever. Everyone's sad. Twilight gets sad. You know the deal by now. You all know this trope. And then she just gets captured because, geez, we only have 40 minutes left of this movie. We gotta speed things up a little bit, pal. And then we get the Tempest and Twilight scene, but I'll get the good things out of the way first. I'm gonna say right now, this is the best song in the movie. I don't care what anybody has to say. This song is a banger, even if you don't like MLP. Song's a banger. It just is. How it looks, the shots, the tone, it's all very, very well put together. So A1 on this song, phenomenal. Now, Tempest Shadow's backstory on the other hand, oh my fucking god. Oh, here you go, Beat Fox, gonna roast another sad childhood anime backstory. And like, I don't think childhood backstories of the sad variety are bad. I just personally think sometimes it's just overplayed, overused, or just flat out terrible. I'm not saying every single one is awful. For an example, like Misty from Generation 5, that's the one good thing I will say that generation is doing right. That's fine. It can be used as an effective tool to give reasoning to a villain as to why they are evil. If you are gonna do it, I just want it to be plausible and have it make sense sense. That's it. But like, god damn, this shit gets used like it's a dirty sock or some shit. Not that I'm complaining. Let me stop. Hey, yo, Tempest, what's your hoof size? Okay, let me stop for real this time. It gets used over and over and over and over again in media where I'm just like, ugh. I like Tempest. I like Tempest's character. I'm just not gonna sit here and act like Tempest is the most perfect character of all time. It's just her backstory is just generic, to me at least. In all actuality, I think that it's still good. It's just my stupid rat brain does not like this trope when done lazily, but I think Tempest's backstory makes enough sense for what it is. And like, just to be clear for the dummies in the back, I think Tempest Shadow's backstory is fine. I just really hate this trope, y'all. When done lazy. I just want to make that very clear. So rant aside, Tempest is then like, you see, Princess Twilight Sparkle, friendship failed you like it failed me. And then Twilight's all like, friendship didn't fail me, I failed friendship, Tempest. Fucking anime bullshit. Cut back to the girls on the beach, depressed that Twilight just got captured and all hope is lost. Until Capper comes back and brings along a couple of friends to help them in their journey. The pirates reappear, as well as the Princess of the Hippogriffs also. Sorry, I already forgot her name. MLP having the worst names competition appears and wants to help out too. So with the gang with their friends they made along the way are ready to fight the Storm King, but they just need a plan. Cut back to okay, wow. Looking pretty rough in Canterlot, isn't it? Bro, you only had one scene with the Sia pony. Tempest then takes Twilight to the royal throne room. Twilight's like, no, please. And Tempest is all like, yeah, okay, bro. Storm King then arrives. Wow, it only took an hour and 13 minutes to see his face again. Yeah, that's another gripe I have with this movie. The Storm King is barely in it. I mean, like, his presence is felt in the movie, but like, he himself isn't present. He has that like one phone call with Tempest near the beginning of the movie, and now he's here at like damn near the end of the movie. You know, I wish he was kind of in the movie more a little bit, because he is kind of funny and a little bit intimidating, but like, I don't know, if maybe the Storm King kept calling Tempest throughout the movie as soon as she was about to catch Twilight and her friends, being like, hey, where's my princess? That at least would have been something, you know? Him appearing near the end of the movie just seems like too little too late, but it's whatever, honestly, because Tempest is like the real villain of this movie, but it would have been nice if he was more involved with the plot. The Storm King then shoves the staff of Sikanis, I had to check my previous voiceover for that one, holy shit, into the ground, and now has all the four princesses' magic. And Tempest is like, please sir, can I have my magic? And he's like, hold up, wait a minute, I gotta play with my fucking balls first. Then we cut to the gang pulling up in a Trojan horse. Alright, that's pretty clever movie. They successfully sneak in after Capper convinced the guards, but then Grubber decides to eat a piece of the cake and sees an eyeball and the jig is up. Okay, so now like, this is the okay, so like there's a fight scene happening, you know, they're fighting and stuff like that, and this is the second time in a row that one of these movies have used bowling stock sound effects in the movie. For context as to why this is so funny to me, in my last Equestria Girls movie review, the Legend of Everfree one, there's one scene in particular that Rainbow Dash gets thrown into the rest of the main six, and just a stock bowling sound effect plays for no reason. And now it's in this movie too. It's so stupid. I can't make up moments like this. This is priceless. This is so dumb. Damn, I bet Princess Nova's a pretty good Wii Sports bowling demon. That's actually my 7th take making this joke, by the way. I hope somebody laughed at that. Please laugh. So they're fighting, and they're fighting some more, and action is happening, and Fluttershy is being the greatest thing to ever grace God's green earth. I fucking love Audacity, by the way. The Storm King then sees the main six burning his guards alive, and then he creates a storm tornado out of nowhere. And then Tempest is like, yo, that's great and all, but can I have my magic back? And then Storm King's like, nah, I used you, Lamau. Come on, guys. What did you think was gonna happen? They then get into a scuffle, and then Twilight has a choice to make. Equestria or Tempest? And what do you think she picks? And come on, guys. What do you expect? Of course she picks Tempest and saves her, and then as soon as the Storm King's all like, haha, I've got you now. Then out of nowhere, Pinkie Pie and the rest of the gang come out of nowhere from a cannon off of the ground all the way up to the royal balcony. Man, I guess that cannon's got some reach. And spear the Storm King. And then Twilight's all like, Pinkie, you came back. And then Pinkie's like, Twilight. Then Rainbow Dash is all like, we need to save the world. And then Pinkie's all like, oh right. Twilight, you need to get the staff. You got this. And then Twilight's all like, no, Pink Horse, we got this. So then the girls make like a bridge thing with themselves and are trying to get the staff, but then the Storm King comes back to life and starts trying to get the staff first, and they're reaching, and then Twilight and the Storm King fly out the window, and Twilight's dead. She's gone, guys. This is so sad. You know, I always liked Twilight. She was brave, smart, served her country, and was a true leader in these hard. And oh look, Twilight's back. Then everybody's like, yay, we did it. Woohoo! And then Tempest is like, oh shit, because she sees the Storm King come back and is about to crystallize Twilight and the rest of the gang. So then she jumps in front of the crystal ball before it crystallizes them and sacrifices herself, and the Storm King just falls to his death. Oh, that's pretty dark. You think Twilight can use some Elmer's glue? Nah, jokes aside, I actually do like that they actually just kill the Storm King off, because usually with MLP, it's like, oh my god, yay, we're friends. Oh my god, you just almost wiped out literally all of civilization. You're my bestie now. Yay! At least they had the balls to kill off this villain. Although now that I think about it, it would have been pretty interesting if Storm King was also with the final 3, because again, I do think the Storm King is pretty alright from the very little we see of him, but I felt like he just needed to be more in the movie or show, you know what I'm saying? But regardless, but then Twilight saves Tempest and turns her back into normal, and then Twilight's like, what do we do now? And then Tempest is like, we should probably fix it, and then she restores the magic back to all the princesses, and she turns everybody back to normal, and the pony congratulates Twilight and her friends for saving everybody, and then sings one of the worst songs in this movie's soundtrack. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This song just feels like it was made to promote the movie instead of being a part of the movie. The other songs felt like they were a part of the movie. This just feels like, hey, we got Sia, let's have her make a song for the movie. Ironically enough, the first and last song of this movie are the absolute worst ones, surprisingly enough. And also, I like to point out that during like the middle of the song number, Queen Novo just shows up and is all like,
You are so grounded.
okay, I guess. And as the song's going on, Twilight notices that Tempest is in the background, and Tempest is like, man, the party keeps going, doesn't it? And Twilight's like, no, you should stay. And Tempest is like, I don't know, my horn. And then Twilight just actually gives kind words to Tempest and says that,
You know, your horn is pretty powerful, just like the pony it belongs to.
which was honestly pretty sweet. Then after Tempest shoots off some fireworks, and Twilight and Tempest give each other the bedroom eyes. Oh yeah. Tempest is all like, guys, I have an announcement to make. My name isn't actually Tempest Shadow, it's
Fizzle Pop Berry Twist.
What? Why? What? Who is coming up with these dog shit terrible horse names at Hasbro? I swear to God, past like the first 6 characters of the show, it's like a 50-50 dice roll on whether or not the pony gets an actual decent name. Does anybody remember names like Sven Gallop, Spoiled Rich, Fizzle Pop Berry Twist, Zesty Gourmand? What the fuck? Truly awful names. And then Pinkie's like, oh my God, that name is so kawaii, desu. I am so sorry you had to hear that. Oh, and the movie just ends, by the way. Wait, hold on, what is that? Oh, fuck off.
Gotta put in, just get it where your Porsche. This shit is expensive.
So, what are my thoughts on My Little Pony, the movie? And well, I'm gonna keep it upfront with you guys. This could have been better. Let me explain. I didn't have a bad time watching this movie. It's what I would have expected the Friendship is Magic movie to be. I felt like this was an easy watch up until Twilight decided to take the pearl. And everything after that moment kind of like sours the movie. It just seems like out of character. And I think the reason of that is because, like, I don't know, maybe because it's tonal whiplash just immediately. Like, Twilight was always like apprehensive of her friends doing stuff throughout their journey. But like the just insane 180 of like, maybe if I didn't have friends like you scene is just like, what? From like a casual person's perspective, the movie just feels generic. Like, why would I watch this on my own volition? Or like, why would I show my kid this when I could be watching other movies like, oh god, what else came out in 2017? The first one I see is Coco. There's no competition there. What else came out in 2017 for kids? Cars 3, the Lego Batman movie, Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, the Lego Ninjago movie. And these are only the kids movies that I can think of. There were plenty other movies in 2017 that were probably better than this movie. Also, another criticism this movie faces from a lot of people is that this movie feels like an overglorified season finale of the show. And coming from the perspective of someone who has watched the show before, I can safely say I don't really disagree with this point. Matter of fact, I'd even argue that if you didn't watch this movie and were already a fan of Friendship is Magic, you aren't missing much. And even if you aren't a fan of Friendship is Magic already, you still aren't missing much. And I think it's because of the movie being so self-contained, very one-off-ish. You don't need to watch previous seasons of film to understand this movie. And that was, of course, by design.
What about that unicorn, the one who attacked Canterlot? Tempest. I invited her to come to Ponyville, but she wanted to spread the word of the Storm King's defeat and share what she learned about friendship.
Which can be seen as a blessing and or a curse depending on how you look at it. The best example that I can think of on the spot is like, imagine watching someone do a side quest in a video game. That's what this movie feels like to me. And like, to be more brutally honest, I kind of just expected more out of this movie. In the grander scheme of things, this movie means nothing to Friendship is Magic. Hell, I'd even say that the first two Equestria Girls movies are more important than this movie. Okay, I don't know about that first one. That's one of the worst films I've ever seen in my life. But the second one is a must watch. Not only to any currently existing fans of My Little Pony, but I'd argue anyone. And like, I know I'm like overselling this movie right now. I'm glazing the fuck out of it. I won't lie. I'm dick riding hard on this movie. I'm pretty self-aware of what I'm saying right now. The movie's probably like a 6 out of 10 at best if you ask anybody else. But there's a reason why it is my second most popular video on my channel. I love that video and that movie so much, just as everyone else loves Rainbow Rocks. It is truly peak Friendship is Magic, and I just feel like under the right circumstances, it could have been that. This could have been the easiest layup of Hasbro's life, and it somehow manages to just be okay. Dare I even say mediocre. And like, I know I'm cooking the movie, I'm gonna get to the positives in a second, but like, and don't even get me started on like this movie's character problems. The characterization is pretty fine, but like Applejack and Fluttershy, I felt like they were given nothing to do in this movie. I felt like everybody in this movie got to do or say at least something. Applejack and Fluttershy got shafted in this movie. And I'm especially not saying this because I'm a Fluttershy fan or anything. Okay, maybe I am. But still, it's insane. Also, certain characters not being in the movie, like Discord, which would have easily solved this movie's plot within 5 seconds or so, and that's being real generous. And I just realized it now that I'm thinking about it. Starlight got captured by the Storm King's forces, yet wasn't she on Twilight's level? She has fought Twilight before and was keeping up with her. She's just as strong as Twilight even. Like, stuff like that doesn't make any sense. But with all those negatives said, I do think the movie looks absolutely stunning. I don't think they could have done any better than what they made. A1 on how this movie looks, looks, the facial animations, everything on a visual standpoint is good. Great even. Tempest Shadow, while I don't necessarily like her backstory 100%, it was still serviceable and fine. And Tempest was a great antagonist throughout the movie. The idea of Tempest chasing this idea of being powerful and wanting her horn back to do so, when in actuality she didn't need to because she was already fine as is. It's just that Tempest didn't have any real friends to show her that while growing up, hence why she aligned herself with the Storm King and just hoped that he would give her her horn back. The soundtrack, while not being groundbreaking or anything, is still not too shabby itself. A lot of the songs were fairly put together and felt like they were actually a part of the movie, except for like the first and last song of the film. The good songs, at least, added to the adventure and the story of the movie, and it was honestly just a good vibe and wasn't annoying, and that's honestly all I can ask for. And look, I can go on and on about the positives and negatives of this movie, but to wrap things up, this movie has many great aspects to it that I think deserve praise, but the flaws that I previously mentioned are what's holding this movie back, and I'm just not gonna pretend like they don't exist just because I watched the show or something. I have to be truthful in what I say, because what would be the point of watching me if all I did was just, oh wow, this was so good guys, oh my golly gosh, this is a masterpiece, this is amazing, this is the greatest thing that I've ever seen. Do you see how fucking stupid I sound saying that shit? I sound like a bot, a drone, an NPC, if you will, without a single drop of critical thought in my brain. I wanted to put a fucking bullet in my brain after saying that shit. And if you truly do like something, or this movie even, that's fine. Just be truthful about it. Don't hide how you truly feel just because you like and watch the show for little girls, and you feel like you have to defend it with your life and soul just because other people don't even like it or don't like it as much as you do. And I'm not even talking about film at this point anymore. I'm talking about literally any piece of media or TV show that you like. I promise you, it's never that deep. And sorry if I went off on a little bit of a rant there. This is just for the dummies in the back who think that I went too hard on the movie and I just hated the movie. And I'm supposed to be a G4 defender just because I watched a television show once. And look, if you like the movie genuinely, that's great. But hell, type to your heart's content down below about how much you love or how much you don't love or how indifferent you are to this movie. I would genuinely like to know down below in the comments. It's one of my favorite parts when I make some of these videos for you guys on the channel. Whether you agree with me or not, I still love it regardless. And what I'm gonna be regardless is truthful. And My Little Pony the movie has flaws, and I'm gonna be truthful. My Little Pony the movie just could have been better. Now, what could have really been better is if Twilight and Tempest started making out and fucking, and Fluttershy just popped in and had big boobs, and all of them had their grippers out, and oh my god! Think of the feet! Feet.
I'm the one Tempest wants. I'm the last princess. You're also the only one who doesn't trust her friends. You not know that sucking my dick is a serious offense? Fuck you!
Money spread, money spread, money spread, money spread, money. Yo, pee pee poo poo check. Pee pee poo poo. Pee 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 pee.
There's a new My Little Pony movie coming out in 5 weeks.
How excited are you?
It's the first of the month. No! Fluttershy's in fucking jail. How could they know? These laws against cuteness are too fucking crazy. No! No! She's innocent, Your Honor. Release Fluttershy this instant. No!
Luna, quick! Go south, beyond the Southlands, beyond the bad Southlands, beyond the bad Badlands. Seek help.
Get some help.
Seek help from the Queen.